What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a super interesting video, and as you can see we have the MK7 behind me, and today we're going to be doing upgraded rotors and pads on it. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to go over everything that I purchased for it. So for pads, we are running the EBC brakes and we're running the red stuff, and these are a street performance pad. So for not daily tracking, but once in a while tracking, these will be good for. But you're gonna have all the stopping power you need. We'll go ahead and take a look inside. So we also ordered extra bolts or new bolts for the rotor. This holds on the rotor, and you're gonna need new ones when you buy brakes. And we bought this all from FCP Euro. They have a full kit. Super easy, you can pick your brake package. So we went with like a street sport set, and we got ceramic pads. The red stuff is ceramic, and then we got some cool rotors I'll show you in a little bit. But you need to get some new bolts when you buy brakes. So the red stuff has a ceramic coating on top and is really good for braking. And what the ceramic does is it cuts down on brake dust, and it's a lot quieter than normal brakes. And you also get a lot better braking, and that first initial bite is going to be a lot heavier. So that's what you get with the red stuff. And brakes will be different for what application you are going for. So if you're obviously going to do street driving, then you're going to want something a little more mellow. You want something with a lot less dust. It just depends on what you want to do. So we plan on tracking the car, not a lot, just once in a while, but this is mainly a daily driver, so that's why we went with the brake pad we went with. So the fronts are the same. The MK7 has a wear indicator in the brake, so EBC did a good job, and they give you an aftermarket sensor that plugs right in and is compatible with the OEM. Same brake pad as the rears, red stuff, super good, high quality. And they give you a whole instruction manual on how to break these in. I'll put that on the screen because I don't want to read it right now. But now we're going to move into the rotors. So for rotors, we went with the Sport Z Zimmerman's, and this is the sport package for the GTI. So this is the best package you could get with the brakes. You get, with the sport package, you get upgraded brakes, so they're a wider diameter, and you actually get the Golf R caliper. So, oh, these are heavy. These are some beefy boys, and they have a coated surface on there, and that'll wear through once you start braking. But this thing should have all the cooling and stopping power you want. Super high quality, very nice piece, and this will look good on the car. So we're gonna go ahead and take the wheel or the nut covers off. This is a pick in the back of your trunk. Should be in every trunk unless someone's tampered with it before you bought it. Just place these on the side, and then we're gonna crack the nuts loose and then lift up that. So you're gonna need a 17mm socket and then a breaker bar. So after you've gotten the wheel off, you are going to see these two bolts back here, one right here and one down here, and these are a 13 mil. But what you're gonna have to do is get vice grips, like skinny nose vice grips, and you're gonna have to clamp that because an opened end is too thick to fit in there. So you just need to get skinny vice grips and to hold this from rotating while you crack this loose. So that's the next step. You can see just how shot these rotors are. You can actually hear the waves in it, and this lip right here is super thick. So That's not good. You can't actually rotate these or surface these because these are high performance from the factory. So you have to get aftermarket or just OEs again. But this was probably a really hard track day and then just a bunch of daily driving hard and stuff. But you can tell that it's pretty warped. We do canyon runs and stuff like that, but this is crazy. Like something got in there and chewed it up. But yeah, it's only on this side too, which is weird. The other side looks not as bad, but it's still bad. Now that we got that tool, it fits nicely in there. This is at AutoZone. You can find it at your local AutoZone. It's just a little narrow vice grip. Now we're gonna be able to crack it loose. Lefty loosey. Boom, just like that. Now we're gonna move on to the bottom one. Now all this is loose, so you want to lube this up if it doesn't move back and forth like that, like this. See, this has been maintained, so it's pretty good. So now you'll be able to slide this off, hopefully, and get your old pads off. But now we have to tie this up so that doesn't hurt the brake line or rip it. So I'll do that right now. So now I tied the caliper up to the lowering spring, and then now we can get a flat head and just, actually no, these will pop right out. Hopefully. Now I'm gonna have to pry them out. Definitely due for a change. Oh damn, yeah, these are bad. Ooh, this one's falling apart. Look at that. It's pretty bad. So now with the 21mm socket, we're gonna take this bolt off and this bolt off down here. Here's this piece, super dirty. We're gonna clean this up, make it look good again. And then our next step is to remove this T30 screw, and then that'll free up the rotor. You might have to hit it, but if you're planning on reusing your rotors, I would not recommend hitting it because then you could mess up the surface. Ooh, look, it just falls right off. That's good. Next to the new. Done. So we're gonna go ahead and grease this a little bit, not too much, and clean up the surface so that next time we do the brakes it'll come off easy. So you could tell this had grease on it, so they did something right. So after you've disassembled everything, you're gonna want to undo your reservoir cap, just so when you compress the brake caliper it'll bleed through there without fighting back, because sometimes when you press it in it'll just go back. So this will allow it to decompress. And then we're going to use a big old wrench to compress this, or if you have a C-clamp that'll probably work a little better. I'm going to use this to compress it, and then I'm going to put a rag back here, paper towels, so I don't scuff up the caliper too much. So before we put the rotor on, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up with some brake clean, just to ensure that everything is clean. And then we're going to put a little bit of grease provided in the kit on here. Just needs to be some high temp grease, nothing special. And then we'll be good to put the rotor on. So now I'm going to clean the rear of the brake rotor, just because you can see there's some oil and grease on there. We're going to clean that off before we put it on the car. Not too much. Now, this is when those set screws will come in, and we'll need to put the new ones in right there. So here's the new one. You got the same torque style. You don't want them too tight, just want them snug. And now we'll do the same process, clean the front side after we've touched it all, and get ready to put everything back together. So I put this in my little cleaner and I went ahead and cleaned these up just a little bit. And what you're gonna do next is take off these rubber boots, and you're gonna wanna clean them and get rid of all that water, and then this liquid moly ceramic paste that was included with the kit, we're going to go ahead and re-lube them and put them all back together. Just be sure not to rip the boots, because then all your grease will fall out and you could have a seized caliper. Make sure you don't put too much, because then it'll like back pressure and you won't be able to push it in. It'll just keep coming out. So I messed up and put too much on accident, so we gotta take some off, but it should just glide back and forth like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and put it back on the car. So 200 newton meters is 147 foot-pounds, and then you're gonna go ahead and use your 21 mil, your torque wrench, go ahead and torque those down. Hopefully I have enough room. That was hard. There wasn't a lot of room. We got those torqued down, and then now you got to torque these. And we're gonna go ahead and put the brake pads in. Now before we put the pads on, we're gonna add a little bit of grease right here, just so they don't squeal and hear them squeak when they move. So just a little bit, just like that. Don't want to get it on the surface of the pad, so then you'll get it everywhere. Then you're also going to want to do a little bit in here. Maybe you press these a little bit. last step is to put this back on, and once you have compressed the piston in there, it just pops back on, and we're gonna go ahead and put these bolts back on and torque them. Now these top bolts are gonna get torqued down to 25 Newton meters, and if you forgot what size it is a 13 millimeter. So we're gonna go ahead and torque that. Make sure it's going on. Yeah. Just like that, not too tight. Or if you want to get some Volkswagen merch, go ahead and check out karmaspeed.com. Got some cool stuff, and we got some cool merch for the Volkswagen Focus, and you can find parts there too. So now that everything is torqued back to spec, properly installed, all the points are greased, everything is buttoned up, just remember to clean the surface of your rotors. You don't want any grease on those, and if there is grease, make sure it's minimal, because that will play a key importance into bedding those brakes. It may take longer if there's grease on there. So now we're going to put the wheel back on, put the spacer back on, tighten those to 95 foot-pounds, and then since you've already seen this side, I'm going to go ahead and knock that side out real quick, and then we're going to go to the back and show you how to do the back. So remember, 95 foot-pounds. Gotta crank this sucker down because just had to do 200 Newton meters on that brake caliper bolt. So 95 right there. Now I'd say that's a pretty aggressive looking brake rotor peeking behind that wheel. Take a look at this side, and then take a look at this side. I also detailed the engine bay, looking pristine as ever. Sheesh. And then this side, barely see it, super lame, nothing to look at. But yeah, hopefully these are a big improvement. I've heard great things about these rotors and brake pads, so we'll do like a review after the break-in period and how they respond, how they act, and I'll go ahead and update you guys. So now we're going to move to that other side, and then you'll see this video resume when we do the rears. Just got completely done with the fronts, both of them. Now we're going to move on to the rear and jack it up, and then take the wheel off and go from there. So what's different about the rear is you have your parking brake assembly, and this is attached to the caliper. So you just have two bolts, and then you can just pull that off and it can just hang there. You don't have to detach any of this. It should be fine, and this should be a lot faster and a lot easier than the fronts. So if you want to start with these, you can. Doesn't matter where you start. But yeah, we're gonna get started. So it is a 13 mil, same as the front. You got these two bolts. So as you saw, we just took these two bolts off and boom, popped this off, and now you have access to your brake pads. Your brake rotor has the same exact little bolt right here, Gonna go ahead, take that off, pop this off, lube these up, pop them out, compress this the same way we did, and then we should be good. If I run into any problems, I'll update you guys, but I'm just gonna put this in time lapse so you guys don't have to sit here and be like Sorry, I forgot to mention there's two triple square bits on the back. This is an M14, and there's one right here and then one down there. And you are going to need a special tool. You could rent one at AutoZone, that's what we're doing. And if you could somehow magically find a way to spin it in and compress, then props to you, but I couldn't find a way. So if any of you had a good way of doing it, put it down in the comments. But this is where we're stuck right now. We're just waiting on that tool and then trying to crack these loose back there. They're kind of pain in the butt because just there's so much stuff back here. You got your filler neck you don't want to crack, you got your spring or shock and spring in the way, and all kinds of stuff. But we're working at it. Had to pick up this part, and it helped us compress that piston right there. We got it at AutoZone. The part number is that right there. You can go pick that up yourself. Basically just compresses against this and allows you to push that cylinder in. That was the biggest problem we had, and they assembled it wrong, so we were like fighting it for like 20 minutes trying to figure out how it worked. But we finally got it, and now we just gotta take this T30 off and then put the new stuff on, and then she'll be good to go. Alright, so just got those bolts tightened down, and then now we got to put the pads in and then torque these two top ones, and then it'll all be good. So since you already saw this side, I won't show you the other side. Now these get torqued to 25 foot-pounds, and then it'll be all buttoned up, and then the wheel will get put back on, and then we'll be good. All buttoned up, all torqued down, looks super good. The rears look nice. The fronts look good. Just got one more left to do on the driver's side, and then it'll be all done and good to go. So this is what it looks like. Factory. No drilled or slotted, nothing. And then you saw what it looks like now. So just got the brakes all finished up. They look killer. We took it around the block just to get that coating off. The rears were a little bit easier, but we needed to grab that tool, so it took a lot longer. But once you grab that tool, you'll be all good. So overall, it was about 4 hours. Not too bad, but anybody can do it. And yeah, it was a pretty good install. So if you like this video, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe to see more content like this. I always do content like this, always doing mods, experiencing things, and just being able to have fun in the garage. Also, go check out karmaspeed.com. Go check out karmaspeed.com, where you can get the best Volkswagen, Focus, Ford merch ever. super cool guys over there, Cameron. Go check out his YouTube channel, Cameron Alford, and he's got some pretty sick tutorials, and I highly recommend to go watch him. But yeah, today was a cool install. Took a little longer than I thought, just because I thought the brakes would be a lot easier. It's not hard by any means, but it wasn't easy. It's just because I didn't have that tool. So what we did is wind up buying this tool. And again, here's the part number right there. This is the tool. We got it at AutoZone, so any AutoZone should have that unless someone has bought in it. But yeah, peace out. See you guys in the next video.